We're living on a disk, floating through space, with a tiny sun.
Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel that is running out of places to hide the bodies of stupid. Today I've got another Flat Earth debate with Why You Are an Idiot, and Sean Hufford is going to be moderating this one after the incredible shit show of shouting at each other yesterday. Why You're an Idiot, do you just want to take 5 minutes to introduce yourself?
Yes, hello. You guys can call me W if you want.
Yeah, that makes it easier.
Yeah, it makes it easier, right? Yeah. No, I'm just a simple guy. I made my Flat Earth channel because I was on Reddit and I saw a bunch of atheist posts, and I realized that they couldn't even read the Bible correctly, the Quran, or any religious text properly and correctly. So it's like, okay, they're stupid. All right, so I'm gonna make a channel and I'm gonna show it, and I've done it. On my last video, I made a Reddit post atheism, and I showed what they got wrong, how they got it wrong, and why they read it wrong. Because they're stupid. They didn't look into it. It's that simple. So that's where my channel kind of sped off, and then I just kept going and going and going with it. And I'm not gonna lie, it's fun. I get to see all the triggered comments, the globe heads. Ah, I love it.
Well, yeah, thanks for that. So, hello Sean, how you doing?
I'm doing all right. Yeah, just gonna have fun with this.
Thanks very much for agreeing to moderate. Did you see yesterday?
I did not. I was doing other things in the real world. Sorry.
Yeah, I'd rather than watching that debate, I'd advise banging your head against the wall several times because it might be more enjoyable. Anyway, over to you to look after the rest of the show.
Well, obviously, I'm not here to be a participant in this conversation. I'm just here to keep the peace between these two, so it doesn't become a shouting match. I'm going to try to keep people on topic. If something's asked, it should be answered, and there won't be any changing of topics to avoid the answer on either side. And yeah, that's pretty much it. You know, it's going to be hopefully a civil discussion. And with that, I'll take it back to you, Craig.
Okay. I suppose we should just get on with it. W, why do you think the Earth's flat?
Well, I have several reasons. One, besides the fact that I do believe in God, I do believe in the Bible, etc. Once I started looking at the evidence for it, especially NASA, because I always thought they were telling the truth, and then the stuff they were doing became sketchy. So I was like, okay, these guys might be lying. And then eventually, after 2 months of research looking into it, I was like, okay, yeah, this place is definitely flat. My biggest jump was, is there a dome over the Earth? That was my biggest issue. Like, is there a dome over this place? And then eventually I saw the rocket videos and I was like, okay, yeah, there's definitely a dome over this place. Because I had evidence for the other stuff that I wanted, but I was like, I can't figure out the dome. Once I saw those rockets, I was like, okay, okay. And then I decided, all right. And then I, got into more debates and comment sections for about like another 4 months just to make sure I could, you know, get everything right the best I could and wash up on anything that I missed. So that's what happened to me. But as for why do I think the Earth is just completely flat? I mean, yeah, I can go to the horizon and all this stuff, but I'm just going to be real. I can see the dome. Well, everyone can, but I know I can see it.
Okay, right.
I'm
So,
just willing to admit it.
I think we should talk about the dome because that's a very good topic. The first question I have for you is: do you think gravity is a thing?
Oh, hell no.
Right. Okay. So then we have a major problem with the dome because without gravity, a pressure gradient wouldn't be possible in an enclosed system with a dome like that. Especially not a pressure system where we have evidence that it literally goes to a practical vacuum. I could quite happily show you a video now displaying the fact that we know that things go into a vacuum, if you like.
Yeah, I have a video explaining the same thing, but
All right. Well,
there's too many issues. Here, let me explain. There's too many issues with gravity. One, people come up to me and tell me, "What's the law of gravity?" And they talk about how particles always will attract to each other, which is basically mass attracts mass. Here's where the issue comes in. There's actually three different laws. As much as people don't know about this. There's three different laws because it's a theory. So it has changed three times already.
okay. What
First,
do you think the three laws are?
Uh, well, this is what they said. Remember,
Okay.
this isn't me. This is what science says. Okay, the first one that came out was the core is causing gravity. Okay, the core. It's as simple as this. The
oh.
core is, grabbing everything, pushing it down. The second one, okay, the outside space, outer space is pushing everything in, and that's what's causing gravity. And now we have mass attracts mass. So I'm just like, okay, could it be that all three are just lies? Could it
Okay.
be that they're trying to cover up for something
So
that they can't 100% prove?
I'll have to correct you that the law of gravity has been the same thing of mass attracting mass since Newton devised it. It hasn't changed. No one says that the core causes gravity, and nobody says that space pushes you in. I mean, you're almost touching on the curvature of space-time and the way that gravity is actually energy being transferred when you actually get down to the high-end physics of it. But the basic way to describe gravity is that mass attracts mass, and that is the only law that we use. And the reason that we say it's a law is not just because we demand it to be true, it's because we can use the equation Fg equals gm1 m2 over r squared to actually calculate a lot of things, and the maths always works out. For instance, bridge builders will use that equation to figure out what kind of loads and that the bridge will be capable of carrying. And the fact that the equation works out and the bridges don't crash is evidence that the equation that was devised is correct. And the equation wasn't just randomly picked out of the air. It was based on tests that Newton did and observations of the fact that everything has an accelerating force on them of 9.8 meters per second squared. Now, my main point about gravity was the fact that without gravity in a dome, then there wouldn't be a pressure gradient. So there is a pressure gradient. How do you explain that if we are in an enclosed system without gravity?
It's as simple as this. We're in a container. So how could there not be pressure? Because you got to think about it like this. The atmosphere is here. It is here. We are inside a pressurized, contained system, no matter what.
Yeah, and I agree with you.
Yeah.
But the thing is, in a pressurized, contained system, there wouldn't be a pressure gradient. There would be a uniform pressure, unless you agreed that gravity was a thing. Because even in a pressurized container the size of the apparent Earth dome, there would be a pressure gradient. But if you say that gravity isn't a thing, then it contradicts what you're saying, because there cannot be a pressurized system with a pressure gradient without a force acting on the atmosphere to cause a pressure gradient, rather. I need to clarify one thing. There's a difference between atmospheric pressure and pressure. When we say there's a pressure gradient, we know that because as you get higher in altitudes, there is less pressure. It's why mountain climbers have to take oxygen when they go up to Everest. It's why planes can only go a certain altitude, because once they run out of atmosphere to be able to create thrust off of, then they can't go any higher. So we know that there's a pressure gradient, and we know that there's a pressure gradient that goes to a practical vacuum. So I would like to present a video for you to demonstrate that, if that's okay. So just
sure. Go for it.
Bear with me 1 second.
Yeah, sure.
Obviously, if you want to screen share anything, then you are more than welcome.
No, I'm going to end up making a video about all this later on.
Okay.
So.
Right. So. Right. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So this this is 2 rocket launches that Red's Rhetoric recorded, and the reason that they're impressive is because they were in a particular position that the sunlight could illuminate the gases as the rockets got higher and higher. I've sped up the footage on both of these quite a lot, but what you can see is as the rockets are increasing in altitude, the gas that's coming out the back of them is expanding more and more and more until this point where you can't really see the plume of gas anymore because it's expanding so much into the vacuum of space. That is direct evidence that there is a pressure gradient. That goes to a practical vacuum. So that literally destroys your suggestion of there being a dome without gravity. You have to either concede that gravity is real or that there isn't a dome.
No, I can explain it. Okay. So I'm going to explain this. One, I'm going to explain first the gravity part.
Okay.
First, the gravity part. So, when it comes to gravity, now that I said the three theories and I've told you about it, yes, there are people who actually talk about it. Armored Skeptic has actually talked about it. He even said space pushes things in. So he even believes it. It's in his own words. So we have different variations of theories. Now, on top of that, we still have the core to prove because it's all connected, remember. The core is connected. So how can anyone prove the core? Well, because the reality is, can I?
Yeah. Sorry, my apologies. Yeah, sorry.
It's okay. So the core is supposedly 4,000 miles deep, right?
Approximately, yes. Yeah.
It's approximate. Now the biggest hole ever dug is 8 to 16 miles, depending on who you listen to. But I'll give you 16 either way. It wouldn't matter. You're talking about less than 1% ever dug. So there is no core proven whatsoever. So then that comes into theory, okay, which theory of gravity is true? And is gravity true at all? If they couldn't even prove the core, did they make it up? Or the fact that, we have seismic waves. I've heard about that. I've listened. P waves, S waves, stuff like that. Yeah, we have movement in the earth. We have lava, we have dirt, we have water. I agree with all of those, but not a single one of those proves the core. So then that comes into question. Okay, we can't prove the core. Does gravity even exist? Is gravity even real? So is the mass attracts mass just magnetic?
Okay,
that we're seeing? Because that's what we see. That's just the reality of what we see.
Right. First off, seismology literally does prove the core because the thing about seismology is that we can tell what is there based on the receiving signals that you get. You said about the P waves and the Q waves and everything. Those kind of things happening are only possible on a sphere. I am not the most knowledgeable on seismology. Conspiracy Cats, actually I think it's on the Baldy Cats channel, has done an excellent video explaining how seismology pretty much proves that there is a core. But that's not really the point, because proving the core isn't necessary at all when we're talking about gravity, because gravity is dependent on mass, and that means the total mass of the Earth, which was actually weighed in the Cavendish experiment. That was the purpose of the Cavendish experiment, to confirm the weight and density of Earth. It was only about 75 years later they derived big G from that. But the fact that you agree or disagree that there's a core is completely irrelevant to the fact that gravity is mass attracting mass due to the warping of space-time. So I'm sorry, but asking me to prove the core for gravity is I'm going to say a non sequitur, because they're not related in any way.
Okay. Hold on. Give me a second.
And just for clarity, I am taking notes, because if it's okay with you, W, after you guys get done with your discussion, I would actually like to go over a couple of points that you brought up later.
Yeah. Okay. So right here, we already have three different, like I explained, we have three different, basically, definitions for gravity. Which one is it? I don't know. I'm just going to be honest. It means gravity is completely a theory. I understand. I believe you. I believe there's movement going down under the Earth. But what is creating that movement? I don't know. I'm okay with, like I told you before, I'm okay with saying I don't know. So I'd rather say there's movement under the Earth, water, dirt, lava. but I don't know what's down there, and I'm just
again. I
and I'll
do
fix
have
that.
to correct
Now-
you. I do have to correct you that proving the core is irrelevant to proving gravity. The core is nothing to do with gravity. Gravity is the mass of the Earth, the entire planet, that is warping space-time, changing the locality of objects and manifesting within physics that we can measure as an accelerating force. That's what gravity is the physical manifestation of a warping in space-time that makes mass attract mass from their centers. It's nothing at all to do with the core of the Earth. I mean, the core of the Earth has been verified by seismology and stuff. You obviously aren't very clear on what seismology is and how you get those measurements, because it tells us exactly what is there. It tells us the density of what's there. It tells us the composition of what's there. It tells us the position of what's there. So you're just saying, yeah, seismology is a thing, but it just shows movement. No, it shows a lot more than movement. It shows the interior of our planet that we can interpret and see based on the data that we receive from the science of seismology. So the thing, and also the thing about gravity is it's not a theory. There is the theory of gravity, which is the collaborating and cooperating evidence to back up the fact that we can say that yes, this is what gravity does. But the law of gravity is an applicable thing, whether you agree that gravity is a thing or not. The law of gravity, that equation, that works. The maths works. It describes our universe. It describes the physics that we understand. When you get out into kind of interplanetary conditions, you need to more consider Einsteinian gravity with the warping of space-time, because Newton thought that it acted instantaneously and it doesn't. But the law of gravity that Newton came up with is what is used in everyday engineering around the planet to actually understand and predict the world around us. So the law of gravity, that equation, that's not really something you can question. So to be able to ask that of you, I need to say, do you know what the law of gravity is based on our model?
Are you asking me a question?
Yeah.
Yes.
Do you know what the law of gravity is?
Based off your model, you're using one of the out of the three laws. You're using the one that's most recent. That mass attracts mass, basically in particle space. That's basically what it says.
Okay.
Outside in particle space, mass attracts mass to each other. Okay.
Okay.
That's the law you're using right now. Okay.
The law itself is a mathematical formula that describes the world around us. It's
I don't.
The math itself doesn't concern with what is going on. It doesn't matter that it's mass attracting mass or anything. The fact that formula is correct and can be used to calculate forces that we feel on us is what makes that a law of gravity. So and again, there isn't different laws of gravity. The only law of gravity we have is the one that Newton gave us when he came up with the observation of mass attracting mass. So please stop saying that there's 3 different laws of gravity. There isn't. There is still discussions around the exact mechanics of how mass makes space-time warp. And I think you're conflating some of the things you've heard about that as to the actual mechanics of gravity.
Yeah, you're gonna have a hard time making me believe that. I grew up. I was young. I remember the things they told me as I grew older. I remember the things they told me as I grew older. And we all know that science always changes. We all know that.
Well, science doesn't change. Science will add to itself.
Can I speak?
Yeah, can I just correct that one point that you said? Because science doesn't change. Science advances. If we find new data that can help us predict our reality better, then we add that to our previous data and refine our theories. Science doesn't change. Science is constantly advancing because science doesn't have all of the answers. Science is there to try and find the answers. And a lot of the time, we don't know all of the answers. So as time goes on, we add to the theories of what has come before us. We literally stand on the shoulders of giants by adding to the knowledge that we have and refining theories. For instance,
if I can make a clarification there for you, Fight Fighter, you're correct. Science itself doesn't change. Their explanations do as better and more evidence comes in.
Yes, that's because it used Newton and Einstein as an example there, because say if you took Newton and Einstein out of time and just chuck them in front of a modern day car with 400 horsepower, right? Newton's going to go to that car and he's going to do experiments on the car that is moving and the forces that it does. And he's going to go, I conclude that that car has the power of 400 horses. So I think there's 400 horses there. Einstein's going to come along. He's going to open the bonnet and he's going to figure out what's going on. And he's going to say, yes, you're right. It does have the power of 400 horses, but no, it's not horses. This is what is actually making the car move. So Newton wasn't wrong about the car having the power of 400 horses, but Einstein had to refine his understanding of what was actually going on. Does that help you understand what I'm talking about?
I understand what you're saying. I really do. I understand what you're saying. But it's up for debate. And this is why we're here. It's up for debate because there's plenty of things. You just admitted, you can't prove a core. You may believe there's a core under the earth, but you can't prove it. That's a fact. Because if we look at seismology, there's really no picture evidence of this core. Do I believe there's a center? Of course. Of course, I believe there's a center. Is there a core in the center? I had no idea.
Okay, but what does the core matter? Because it's irrelevant to the conversation of gravity.
Here's why. So you're using one of the laws of gravity. And you can say there's not, but I'm going to let you know there are. Other people use the other 3 laws. I told you in one of my videos, Armored Skeptic used one of the other laws of gravity, of the theory.
And did
so
he? What mathematical?
What's going on here? Okay, so I can't prove a core. That's a fact. I can't prove it. So I'm going to completely toss it out. I'm going to look at what does the inside of the Earth actually do? Okay, so the inside of the Earth seems to be magnetic for some reason. Don't know why, but it seems to be magnetic. Okay, well then, what type of experiment on the flat Earth could make the sun and moon go up using those simple magnetics? Well, there's an example of that perfectly. There is a miniature version. It's called a levitating clock. You can grab simple magnetics, and you can literally make a little small ball float in the air and rotate around. Now, that's what we can do. What can God do? And it's like, okay, if we can do something as simple as this, it's like, what can God do? Very easily. He could probably do it very easily and way more efficient than we can. So it's like, okay. And then on top of that, I still have, like, how do I say this? The sun and moon are around 11 to 40 miles high.
11 to 40 miles high?
Yeah.
Right.
And I have video evidence of that.
Okay.
If you watch.
11, that's an interesting one.
I do have video evidence of the sun and moon being only around 40 miles high, because if I can measure one of them, then it gives me a good estimate of how high the other one is, because on the flat Earth model, they're both around the same height. Maybe slight differences here and there, but they're around the same height.
Right, okay. I'd like to first address your suggestion of gravity being magnetism.
No, I don't think gravity is magnetism. I remove gravity completely.
Right, okay. But the thing is, we experience a accelerating force. Is that something that you disagree with?
Yeah, no, I agree with it.
Right, well, that is gravity. That is, you can call it what you like. That accelerating force is gravity.
Sorry, no core. Can't prove it.
The core has nothing to do with gravity. I've explained this to you. Please stop saying that because it's completely irrelevant. The core is literally nothing to do with gravity at all.
Hold on, give me a second. Okay, so right here, I'm going to read this, okay?
Okay.
Okay. Crust, upper mantle, low velocity mantle, lower mantle, outer liquid, core, inner solid liquid core. Double magnetic field creates gravitational force inside of the core. So the core's creating it.
So
this is what they're showing.
Where
isn't me.
Where are you getting that?
I'm just on Google. This is what they're saying. So
where on
you're
Google?
saying
Could you
one
share the
thing,
link
they're
with me?
saying another.
Could you share the link with me so I can see
Who am
that?
I supposed to believe, you or me?
Yeah. Could you share the
Or
link with me?
them?
Could you?
Hold on. Fight the Flat Earth is requesting the link so we can see what you're seeing in real time.
Yeah. Hold on. Give me a
In
second.
other words, he's saying, citation, please.
Yes. Yeah. Where is it? Yeah. I'll send it in. It's a simple picture. This is what they show.
Okay.
Look, this is what they say. It's not me. I don't believe in gravity. I told you. I don't believe it exists. I don't want to replace it with anything either. This is just what they show. Now you're saying one thing, they're saying another. I have no issue with it. Everyone has their own theory.
Okay.
But
Have you got
I
that
cannot
link?
100% prove it, so I'd rather just throw it away.
Okay. Have you got that link?
Yeah,
I've
I sent
got
it to
it.
you. I sent it to you in the message.
It's in the side chat,
Oh.
Yeah, I sent it in the chat.
or it's in the actual Hangout chat.
Yeah. But sorry, I was on the wrong screen.
Oh, you thought I sent it to the Discord? No.
Yeah. My bad.
I sent it to the Hangout. My bad.
Okay. Let me have a look at that.
Let me make a note on this because I'll be bringing this up later.
Sorry, I'm just opening that link. Open link in new tab.
Hey, not just that, they call it a hypothesis. In my opinion, that's just theory, but everyone has their own definition.
Okay, so where is this from?
Huh?
Double magnetic field creates gravitational effects.
Yeah.
Chris Quiche hypothesis. Okay, now, I mean, one of the things that I could say is you're not wrong that the Earth's core creates gravity because the Earth's core is part of the Earth's mass. But the gravitational acceleration that we feel is from the entire mass of our planet. Now, I'm trying to see where you got this from. Caroline Core. Let me have a look at whatever that is. Because, I mean, you've literally just sent me a picture there with no more than a picture, so it's very hard to actually see where you got that from.
I mean, it's nothing new.
I've
It's,
actually checked
stuff.
on the website.
Look, it's simple stuff from school that they teach little kids. Now, those kids are probably going to refine it later on, but it's the simple basic that we all learned in school. Oh, the core creates gravity, and then as time goes on, people change it.
Thing is, nobody.
As time goes on, people change it.
Nobody learned that in school. Could you show me
I sure did.
The source site is actually in the Hangout chat for you.
Thank you. There we go.
Yeah, I sure did. So did everyone else in my school. We all learned it that way. So it's like, okay. Look, it's the only reason I say it's a theory. So I'd leave it like that.
Right.
Now, would you like to move on to another topic?
No, because this isn't a science website. I mean, let me read the first thing you see. The Quiche Foundation, the place where science meets the soul of man. I don't really... This isn't anything that I can look at to clarify what you're saying. And I can guarantee... Let me ask the chat right now. 1 for yes, 2 for no. Did you get taught at school that the core is what causes mass? Let's just see what everyone else asks there, because it's quite a good age range usually. So 1, yes, you did get taught that the core causes gravity. 2, yep. No, you didn't get taught that.
Everyone gets taught differently. I wouldn't doubt that at all. I would not doubt that at all. Everyone gets taught differently. Because every school is different.
Two. I mean, we would have to ask that at least, see that at least one person was taught that, right? Let's see if any of them say. Can you see the chat there? I think you are the only one claiming that you were taught that the core causes gravity.
Well, you're in a room. Well, you gotta understand. Most of your viewers are globe heads. So
I can guarantee you there is a fair
I'm going to clarify the straw man right there, because that was a blatant straw man. You're saying that this came from a globe theory site. So you're saying that because everybody was taught.
No. I'm saying right now they're just agreeing with him because they agree with him because he.
But they're not agreeing with him. They're saying they're not.
They're answering your question.
Your source also believes in a globe. You're saying that this is taught in schools, and so far nobody in chat was taught that the core was causing gravity. This is why this is a straw man.
It's as simple as this. You can grab a simple science textbook. You'll see this in there.
No, you won't. I've got many science textbooks in my house, and not one of them says that the core causes gravity. Every single science textbook that is taught around schools, it will say that gravity is mass attracting mass, and then you can move on to the Einsteinian gravity and even further into the high energy descriptions of gravity once you can understand the basics. But nowhere is anywhere taught, and I can pretty conclusively say that at least in our generation, no one has ever been taught in one of our schools that the core causes gravity. Okay? So that is not something that is the scientific consensus that we would ever talk about. Okay? The only law of gravity that we will discuss, because the only one that is used, because there is only one, is Newton's law of gravitational attraction, which is again Fg equals G m1 m2 over r squared, where g is a gravitational constant, m1 and m2 are respective masses of the things you want, and r is the distance between their centers. Using that equation, you can easily calculate why things act the way they do when they interact. You can easily calculate how many loads things should have. For instance, like I said, bridge builders, architects, they all use that equation in their work. The law of gravity is not whatever you're thinking it is. The law of gravity is what I have just told you it is, so please don't refer to anything else as the law of gravity. Now, we still haven't addressed the fact that in your magic dome, without gravity, because you dismiss gravity completely, I think we're back. My internet just completely died there. Let me try and get back into the hangout with Sean and why you are an idiot.
I'm actually going to be touching on that at the end of this.
I think we're back. I'm sorry, my internet literally completely died there for some reason. I turned around and my router was red.
It's okay. It's okay.
Right.
We were just talking casually, so we're good.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. I'm pretty sure the stream is back up and running. People in the chat just confirm. Yeah. Excellent. Thank you. Sorry about that.
Good?
Yeah. I'm glad that it just reconnected straight back to it. I'm happy about that. Okay, right. So where were we? I was trying to explain to you the fact that there is only one law of gravity, and that's all that we've ever used as a law of gravity, of mass attracting mass. No one ever says the core causes gravity. It was never taught in schools. So let's move on from that. And I would really like you to explain to me the mechanics behind why there is a pressure gradient in our atmosphere if we live in a dome and gravity isn't a thing.
Well, there used to not be a pressure gradient.
Okay, I'm gonna need some serious citation for that.
This is gonna. I have evidence for what I'm saying, but this goes into religion. Okay. Before Yggdrasil got cut down, there was a pressure gradient. Basically, do you know what Yggdrasil is?
Yes, the life tree.
The life tree, yeah. But I'm sorry, but I don't really believe in magic, so
No. Who says it's magic?
Well,
it's not magic.
It's quite
evidence for it.
A god is quite anything to do with God is quite clearly magic. So
no, there's physical evidence for what I'm saying.
I'm sorry, but religious texts about magic tree do not.
You're religious also.
No, I'm not.
Religious also.
No, we're not going to get into that conversation about what religion is. Religion is the belief in something superstitious, the same as faith.
I'm trying to physically prove the religious text. Physically prove it, not kind of prove it.
I would. All right, go ahead. Physically prove to me that there was a magic life tree that somehow made the atmosphere within our dome not be a pressure gradient.
Okay, now I'm going to explain. All right, so I got to tell, can you listen? Well, Can you listen to the story without interrupting me?
Go ahead.
And then I'll show you the evidence.
Story time, people. I'll even mute myself, all right? I will click the button and mute myself whilst you're talking.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so story time. Time to learn about, religion, guys. So suck it up. All right, so before the flood happened, there was a giant tree in the middle of the earth. It was called Yggdrasil, the world tree. Okay. Now, what happened is when the angels came down to earth from the dome and they had sex with the women, the giants, the titans, were created. And during the War of Ragnarok, the giants cut down the tree and they started to kill one another. Okay. Now, you're going to ask me for proof of this. Okay, well, I have proof of giants, giant bodies. I have 3 videos, giant bodies all over the place. Okay. I have proof of the stumps of Yggdrasil. Okay. So it exists. And then I have proof of what happened inside the earth of Yggdrasil. It turned into coal. Okay. The tree stumps and everything turned into coal. And you can find, human footprints, boots, literal human things inside there existing. So that's the story of what happened. Now, if you would like to see the evidence, you can go to my channel. It's called Why You Are an Idiot. You can click on Noah's Titans if you want to see the Titans. As for Yggdrasil, you're going to have to go to Hated for Truth for that. Now, I leave physical evidence for pretty much most of what I say, especially when it comes to religion.
Okay.
Okay, your turn.
Can you present me one of your videos proving that giants are real?
Yeah, 100%.
Because I think I can destroy that with one word.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Are you screen sharing?
Hold on, give me a second.
Just let me know when you are, and I'll put it up.
Here, you want me to post it on Discord?
You could just screen share it for us.
How do I do the screen share?
Click on the 3 buttons in the. Are you on a phone or on your computer?
Here, can you screen share it?
Have you just sent it to me on Discord? Have you?
Yeah, sure, I'll do it.
Yeah. All right. I'll screen share it for you. Everyone can see it then.
There you go.
Okay. Open link. We will stick that over there. One sec. I'll just get that screen shared for people. That's on that one. And now if I go to screen share, people should be able to see what I've just done. Oh, where is it? There. Okay. Right, so Titans.
Yes.
So this is what you're presenting as evidence of giants. Let's have a look.
Yes.
Right, yeah. Okay, I see. Let me have a look. Right, okay. So we've got a bit of rock. Yeah, okay, lovely. Another rock. Right, yeah, I'm just going to destroy this with one word. I'm sorry, pareidolia.
Yeah, I know. You're going to say pareidolia. They always tell me that.
I'm sorry, but that is not evidence of anything at all. That is pareidolia.
No, I'm going to show you something else.
Okay.
There was a heart found inside one of them.
A heart?
Yeah, I left it in the video. I mean, you were going over my videos, right? And you told me you did.
Which,
so, did you miss it?
In this video here that you just gave me?
No, it's in another one.
Right, can you link that and I'll
the chat wasn't seeing, or the live stream was not seeing anything except for the black screen of his camera.
Oh, have I done the wrong thing?
Yeah. So, and it was a surprise to me too, actually, because I didn't expect it either. I thought these were always just like statues.
Yeah, that's my fault. I'm sorry. I'd done the wrong thing. Let me go back to that and I'll show the guys.
Okay, I'm gonna you can start at 10 minutes. It'll pop up in like 9 seconds. Okay.
Right. Okay. The chat can see that one. Right before. Can you guys see the one from before? I just want to show everyone that.
They're still not seeing anything except for the screen until I talk, and you're just screen capping the wrong area.
I think I've fixed that now. Let me. Yeah, right. Yeah, they're seeing it now. Right. Yeah. So this was the video he was showing me.
Yeah.
That,
You can start at 10 minutes. Start at 10 minutes. Skip to 10 minutes.
Okay, so there we go. That one, guys, was that's what he's showing me. It's things that look like things. So, right, he's just sent me another one. Let me get that, and we'll have a look at that. Discord. Right, 10 minutes on this one, you said.
Yeah, start at 10 minutes. It'll pop up in like 9 seconds or something like that. 9, 10.
Sorry for getting that wrong, chat. Right.
Now, if you would like to know where to go see the more detailed version of it, I can explain it right now. But
okay, right.
If you would like to...
It's playing at from 10 minutes. You want to tell me what I'm looking at? Where's the heart supposed to be?
Yeah, it'll pop up. You can pause it if you want. Let me know when. Let me know when you pause it.
Right. So
let me explain.
The thing that it says true knowledge comes from God underneath it, right?
Yeah.
Right,
yes.
okay.
So let me explain what happened. Okay. So here's the story. The story is that some guy was walking by like a large, basically petrified anaconda, and it was bigger than usual. And he thought it was a statue. We all did, even me. Okay. Turns out a piece of it broke off. He took a piece of it off, and there was blood inside of it. So the thing was alive. So what happens is people start looking around at more animals and more this and that, and they start noticing faces of giants and all this. And at first, the thought was like, okay, this can't be real. And then turns out what happens is there's a geologist from the MFU University, and he does videos explaining everything that's going on. And he shows hearts, intestines, veins, blood vessels, very, very detailed and very explicit. He goes into great detail explaining it. Very smart man. And I thought it was insane,
right.
but
I mean, it looks lovely. I mean, it's a great collection of minerals and deposits that do resemble the aortas or in veins and vessels of a heart. They're a very good example of pareidolia. I'm going to give you that. And again, it's nothing more than pareidolia. But my question for you is, how does any of this prove that at one point there was no pressure gradient? And more to the point, how does the fact that there used to not be a pressure gradient explain the fact that there is a pressure gradient now?
Okay, so basically, when Yggdrasil is gone, we're talking about it reached onto the dome. It reached onto the dome. Once it got cut down, how much of, because supposedly, there's a connection between the air and trees and all this. So if you cut a tree that big down, how much are you going to lose? And you can look at the animals. If you look at the animals of the past and you look at the animals of today,
I'm gonna have to.
They're twice as big. They're twice as big in the past. They are twice the size in the past. That requires way more air pressure. And since Yggdrasil is so high, there should be no pressure gradient. You remove it, there is a pressure gradient.
Right. Okay. I'm sorry, but that is completely flawed logic. A tree does not decide the pressure gradient. Trees simply take what carbon dioxide there is in the atmosphere and convert it into oxygen, which I think you should probably go and apologize to them for wasting all their time, but that's not really an issue. Sorry, there's my one ad hom for the show. All right, guys. Anyway, so none of that proves that there wasn't a pressure gradient. Just saying there was a massive tree doesn't prove that there used to be no pressure gradient. And more to the point, I'm not really interested in what was in the past. I'm interested in the current world that we live in. And the current world that we live in has an atmospheric pressure gradient going from 14.7 psi up to 0 psi. So please explain to me how that pressure gradient is there. I don't care about what's happened in the past. Why is there now a pressure gradient?
Because Yggdrasil's gone. It's not gonna. My mind's not going to change. I'm going to show you the roots. The stump
Sean,
of the
can you
roots.
actually get? You didn't answer my question.
Yeah. You're
no,
not
you
actually
want a
answering
different
the
answer. You want a different answer. But I'm being honest.
An answer.
The reason there's less air pressure up there now is because Yggdrasil's gone.
Now, a tree doesn't cause air pressure. That's not a big tree being there would not cause there to be no pressure gradient. That is not any logical train of thought that any sane person should go down. So just saying that there used to be a big tree is in no way evidence that there used to be a pressure gradient. But that's not the point. That's not the point. The point is that there is now a pressure gradient. So why does that pressure gradient exist? Because if we were in a dome,
is gone.
No, that doesn't explain why there is now a pressure gradient. What mechanic?
Yes, it does. It can. It can explain it very easily.
No. All right. The absence of something doesn't explain.
I just sent you the stumps of the. I just sent you one of the roots that got cut down.
Okay.
Okay. What you're doing is a non sequitur.
One of the roots that got cut down.
You're doing a non sequitur and a red herring.
There's several all over the earth.
You're doing a non sequitur and a red herring. None of your responses actually deal with why there is a pressure gradient.
No, I am. You guys just don't like my answer.
Your answer
I'm not going to change my answer just because you don't like it.
Well, it's not a matter of like or not.
That is the reality of it. I'm not going to change my answer, not because you don't like it. Like the fact that the Giants existed.
The reason why I said it's a non sequitur and a red herring is because trees don't create air; they convert it. Mm-hmm. There's no more or no less. The lack of a tree is not going to cause a difference in air pressure.
Oh, please! If Yggdrasil was on it, yes, it would. The bodies of the past
what
are
do you
way
have?
bigger.
No, right, Mike. Right. Listen to the question very carefully. What mechanic is causing there to be air pressure right now? There has to be a force acting on that air for there to be pressure. What is causing that right now? The absence of something can't cause a force. So what mechanic is physically causing the atmosphere to have a pressure gradient?
One, it's simple. The trees create the air.
No, they don't. The trees don't create air.
They help create the atmosphere around us.
No, they don't. They convert. Yeah. They convert CO2 into O2. They don't create the atmosphere. They make the atmosphere breathable for us. They don't create the atmosphere. The atmosphere is there. What the trees do is gather carbon dioxide and convert that into oxygen. They don't create the atmosphere. The trees have no bearing on if there is atmosphere or not.
They create oxygen for us to breathe. If I put a giant tree in the middle, how much more oxygen are we going to have? And how much more pressure are we going to have?
Okay.
A ton.
Answer me this. How does that tree create the oxygen? By taking something.
Yes.
Right. So there would still be no explanation as to why there is now a pressure gradient. A gradient is caused by a force. There is something that is actually causing that gradient to be a thing. And
it's caused because there isn't enough oxygen up there. There isn't enough atmosphere up there. There isn't much up there.
Yes.
It's less.
Why?
Brazil is gone.
Okay, but no, we can't be in a dome then if there's a pressure gradient. As simple as that. I'm sorry. That is the scientific fact. If we live in a dome and you are disregarding gravity, there can be no pressure gradient. That is a physical fact of the universe that you can't really argue with, because that is just a fact. In so much as 1 + 1 is 2. A pressurized system without an external force acting on the things inside that system will have a uniform pressure. And we know that there is not a uniform pressure. So I'm sorry, there cannot be a dome. And so you either have to concede that there's no dome or that gravity is a thing. You can't have it either way. Which one is it?
Or I can say that gravity is not proven, and that's a fact. Gravity is not proven. The giants did exist because I have the bodies right there, and I showed you. You can call it pareidolia all you want.
I will call it pareidolia because that's exactly what it is.
Again, non sequitur. Non sequitur. The giants have nothing to do with the air pressure gradient.
Right.
Yes, they do.
Okay. All right. I
told you. You gotta hear. It's about the story.
Right.
You have to understand the past to understand what happened. And why we have a pressure gradient now. I'm
going to stop you there because it's clear that you have no clue about anything to do with the physical world and how pressure is created. So we're going to just say that I win that point because you've no idea what you're talking about. And I'm going to move. I'm going to ask you a question now. I've answered your nonsense about a dome and everything. So now I would like you to explain to me a physical observation and how it is possible without if the Earth's flat. Okay, so I'm going to share a screen with you, and I would then like you to explain what we are seeing. Okay, bear with me.
Okay. Yeah, sure. Go for it.
Okay, so you should be able to see my screen, and there we go. Right. This is another video from Red's Rhetoric. He was in Tampa Bay, Florida, and what he did was he had an image captured up close to some buildings, and then he captured the same image from far away and zoomed in, and compared the two. And if you look now, something very important happens. So that is from far away and zoomed in, and that is the same buildings. Now, what's the difference between those two shots? What is there?
When you get close up, you can see the bottom part. When you get far away, you can't.
And on what shape would that be possible?
On a flat Earth, that's fine.
No, that would not be possible on a flat Earth. If that's a flat Earth, there is a whole bunch of people that are now on the Earth. What we have there is physical evidence of curvature of our planet. And not only that, you can map it into all the business. If that's a curve calculator, it comes out correct. So that
mute the sound on the video, please.
Sorry, the video's gone. So that video is evidence that there is curve to the planet that comports with the distances that we say, the circumference that we say. So please explain to me how that is possible on a flat Earth, and also where all those people went that got drowned by that massive wall of water.
No, nothing. Why? It's probably a little curved out. It's probably a little curved up. That's it.
Please explain why.
No, the ground is a little curved up.
No,
okay.
there was no ground. There was water there. Please.
I know. That's what I mean. Because water always finds its level, right? Bottom of it is a little curved up. Nothing wrong with it.
Okay, you just completely contradicted yourself there, because if
Why would
you're
I
saying
because
no, let me answer. You're contradicting yourself because you're saying, oh well, there's a little bit of water curve in there. Water always finds its level. What do you mean by level? Because level doesn't mean flat. They're not the same things. But there is evidence of the water having a curve and blocking the view of those buildings. Please explain to me how that is possible on a flat Earth without just going, yeah, it is. Please give me actual explanation for how that observation is possible on a flat Earth.
Oh, that's easy. It's not hard. You're seeing what you're seeing. And I'm not denying it.
Yeah, I'm seeing I'm seeing physical curvature. I'm seeing physical curvature that comports with.
It's still flat. The horizon's still flat, right?
No, it's curvature.
Yes,
you can
flat.
see
the horizon's still flat.
Right. The horizon is, of course, flat because it's a cross section of our planet, which is 2D. The horizon is always going to be flat. But what you can see is physical evidence of the curvature of the planet, because there are buildings behind the water. And the water doesn't just...
I can go up higher and show you a curve, and it still won't show the ball. I can go up higher than that. I can go, 120,000 feet and show you a curve.
You can go really, really high, and you're not likely to see a curve. But you're never going to see a left-right curve when you're on the planet, because we don't live on a cylinder.
I just told you I can show you a curve.
Well, then the Earth's curved. If you can show me a curve, then there is no flat Earth.
No, because you don't understand my model.
You don't have a model.
I do.
No. Let me explain to you what. Let me explain to you what a model is. A model is something that has predictive capabilities. A model is something that comports with reality and can explain and predict things that are happening. If you are saying that you have a flat Earth model, what that flat Earth model needs to be able to do is not only explain things as well as my model, but explain them better. You do not have a model because you do not have any explanations or anything. No, you don't have a model because you can't.
Bible.
No, the Bible isn't.
I have a model.
The Bible's not a science book, and also the Bible doesn't say the Earth's flat. 99% of Christians will agree with that.
I could care less what they say. I know what the Bible says. It said on pillars. He inscribed a circle.
Yeah,
I'm going to stop you both here.
I'm
going to stop you both here because you got sucked into a rabbit hole. The topic was, why are bottoms of those buildings missing?
Oh, no. It's probably just atmospheric conditioning, stuff like that, but that's about it.
Please explain to me the exact mechanics, because there isn't any atmospheric conditioning that I know that can not only make the bottoms of buildings disappear, but also maintain the apparent structural positions and everything of everything else in the buildings. The only things missing from there was the bottom of the buildings. There was no warping, there was no distortion, no mirroring, no lensing or anything. It was the thing about when Reds does his observations is he cherry picks the days to have minimal refraction to make sure that it's the clearest shot. And as evidenced in that shot, there is no atmospheric refraction causing a bunch of things going wrong with what you're seeing. It is very clear that the only thing that is different between those two is that on one, the bottoms of the buildings are missing. So no, atmospheric conditions are not the cause of that, because there is no other evidence of atmospheric conditions causing that. So no, please explain to me what is causing that, because it's not atmospheric conditions.
Look, it is atmospheric conditions. It's that simple.
I've just explained to you how it's not atmospheric conditions. So please,
you can explain it.
Please give me a different answer that is actually right.
That won't change it. You can explain a lot of things, but that won't change it.
It will. It changes everything, because I have facts, and so far your entire argument, and I'm paraphrasing here, but your entire argument is nuh-uh because my holy book.
Well, you denied my giants called it pareidolia. Yeah. When I literally can show you a heart. We can go through university professor showing that there's blood inside of them, and now you're telling me this right here is fact, but mine was a lie, even though we have physical evidence for both of what we're saying.
We don't.
So you're saying I'm a liar, and you're telling the truth.
No, I'm saying that you're very wrong. You can't explain anything. You don't have a model because you can't explain the atmospheric gradient.
Yes,
you don't have a model because you can't explain the world around us. You don't have a model because you can't explain the accelerating force that we feel on us every single day. To say you have a model means that you have explanations for things. Saying the tree isn't there anymore is not an explanation for there being a current pressure gradient. A pressure gradient is caused by force. You don't have an answer to anything.
I think you just don't like my answers
because they're very wrong. I think, Goddess Engineer, are you still there? Yeah, I know they're wrong because I can actually explain why.
I told you I have physical evidence for everything I say. I showed you.
You have pareidolia.
You just denied it. That's it.
You have pareidolia.
It's the same thing when Red showed me the ISS. I didn't even deny the video.
Yep.
You want to know what I denied? I denied the measurement of the height
reality. You deny reality.
I denied the measurement of the height of the ISS because I had my own video for it about, is the ISS really that high? Because I had my own counter argument for it. And I proved that the ISS was not that high.
No, you didn't.
And it was very easily. I did it very easily.
Trust me, we'll watch that debate, and you did not prove anything of the sort. The fact that you think that is actually quite humorous, and it's a typical kind of indication of any Flerf that no matter what you say, they think
evidence for everything I say.
You have pareidolia.
No, they're real. There's blood inside of them. There's nothing you can do. You can say whatever you want. I can say professor and others are looking into it, and they're finding all these things. They're finding intestines inside of them.
I'm going to say citation, please.
Yeah, citation, please. Goddess Engineer is going to be here in a few to ask you some questions, because I think we've exhausted the fact that you don't know anything that I've been trying to present to you. You haven't managed to actually do anything to refute my points. I just want to share with you and the audience.
Okay. Well, can you answer one of my questions?
One sec. I just want to share something with you and the audience to explain why people say the Earth looks flat. So, if you watch this. Right, this is to scale of the planet. All right. As we get closer, we see less of the circle, so the curve is less pronounced. And we get to a point where the Earth looks flat. So
yeah, that's fine.
That's why. Just in case you want to bring up the argument, it looks flat. That just ruins that. Okay.
Proof is I have.
What's your question? Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so I just said I debunked Red's ISS video. I made a video about it already. It's on the non sequitur debate that I had, and I showed proof for what I was saying. Okay, so I said that the sun and moon are about 11 to 40 miles high. How did I prove that?
Yeah, that was hilarious.
How did you think I proved that?
Go ahead, tell
What
me.
did you? Okay, well, basically what happens is I found a satellite balloon passing by the moon. Now that isn't anything big. That isn't a big deal. Here's where the issue comes in. The satellite balloon was casting a shadow on the moon, a literal shadow. It's on video. Okay, so satellite balloons are set to go 11 to 20 miles high. Now the highest, the truth is the highest is 38 miles, but I rounded it up to 40 anyway. Okay?
Okay.
So now I have a shadow literally casting of a satellite balloon on the moon. Now, Red has his ISS video passing by the moon. It's not casting a shadow at all. It's just passing by it. So which one is closer? Just using common sense, which one is closer? The satellite balloon or the ISS? Okay.
That
The
didn't.
satellite balloon. No, we're using common sense.
That
The
satellite did not
balloon,
cast a
because it
shadow
is
on the moon.
casting a shadow. Because it is casting a shadow.
I'm sorry,
So
but the
since
satellite
it is
balloon.
casting a shadow, since it is casting a shadow, okay, that means it's about 11 to 40 miles high, okay, and that is a fact.
Right.
And it rotates around this place on the flat Earth.
Okay, I can just
And
destroy
I
that
can
with.
prove it.
No, you can't, because I can destroy it right now. What's the angular size of the moon, and how much does it change throughout the day?
I don't know. No idea. I'm not going to make that assumption. I'm not going to jump and be like,
Sorry.
I know the size of the moon. You don't even know.
Right. Do you know what angular size is?
No.
Okay,
No,
it's the apparent size of the moon in the sky. So the thing about angular size is that using the law of perspective, which is alpha equals 2 times the arctan of g over 2r, we can actually calculate how big things should be based on how far away they are. And that says that the moon, if it was moving away from us, circling around above us on this flat Earth, and it was only 40 miles high, would reduce severely in angular size throughout the night. And I don't know about you, but the last time I checked, the moon doesn't change its size in the sky during the night. So
yeah, the moon is very weird. I agree with you. The moon doesn't change. The sun changes size.
No,
the moon, on the other hand,
the sun doesn't
the
change
moon, on the
size.
other hand, doesn't.
It's
really weird.
The sun doesn't change size at all.
Yes, it does. I proved it in my last debate.
No, I
made a video about it.
Did you look at the sun throughout the day with a solar filter?
Solar. What is it called?
A solar
filter. Yeah.
And the sun changed in angular size.
Yeah. It wasn't like some huge gigantic change, but yeah.
Right. Okay. I would disagree, because I can point you now to
Wolfie posted it up. He's a glowhead.
No, not Wolfie.
Wolfie is the one that posted it up.
Red's rhetoric. He does the best observations. I'm sorry.
Oh, yes. Screw you. I'm sorry, but Red did his solar observation because I did mine.
All right. Okay. Sean and Red's both did solar observations. And Sean, what was the results of your solar observation?
From solar noon to sunset, the sun did not change even 1 pixel in size.
Not 1 pixel. And what was the result of Red's?
Same.
The same. Right. Okay. So if the sun was, say, 40 miles above, again, it would change in angular size such a large degree that, it would be a pinprick as it gets in the distance. So no, the sun and the moon are not 11 to 40 miles high. That is completely impossible unless
it's on video.
They're magic.
It's on video. Either you're calling me a liar and saying my video's fake, and if you do think my video's fake, and you do think I'm wrong,
I think you're wrong.
Can you
prove it?
Can you link the video to this and I'll take a look at it?
Yeah, sure. Link me the video.
Yeah, sure.
And I will look very objectively to this and see.
Yes, look at it objectively. Yes, please. Because I did this before.
And you're saying that you used a solar filter?
Oh, for the size? You mean, which one do you guys want? Do you guys want the satellite passing by the moon?
I want the sun changing size video.
Yes, please.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Hold on. Where is it? It's in my comment section. Give me a second.
Oh, it's not even your video?
Yeah, no, it's in my video. It's in my comment section, basically. Because some guy was all like, oh, you're a liar, blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, okay, here you go. Here you go. Is this one better? So,
Right. Yeah. It's your own video, but you don't know where it is.
No. I know where it is. It's just He didn't like it, so I was like, here's a better one. Give me a second.
Just while you just while you're looking for that, hey, Goddess Engineer, how you doing?
You muted, sir.
You need to unmute yourself, John. Well, Goddess Engineer is here, but he's muted right now. Have you got that link, buddy?
Hold on, I'm sorry. It's somewhere in here.
I mean, I'm looking on your channel and I can't see any videos about the size of the sun.
No, because it's in one of my debate videos. But hold on, give me a second. I think it's this one. I think it's this one right here. Oh no, I know this one. This one's the red one. Where is it? Come on. I think it's.
And I'm sorry for asking for this link, but you know, I'm very, very proud of my tracking of the sun through a half a day video. Because it was video, it wasn't just pictures. It was actually 3 hours worth of video. It was cut between like a 1 hour gap between when I had to change or charge the battery.
Yeah, right here. There you go. I got it. Discord, right?
Yeah, just send it to Discord.
Well, I can't see it on Discord. Put it on the little Hangouts chat.
Put it in the Hangouts chat as well, so Sean can see it.
After all, I'm the one that requested to see this video.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's because you know some guy was like, "Oh, you're a liar." I'm just like, okay, here's a better one in slow motion.
Okay. Sorry. Straight away, there's no solar filter on that.
And it's going to show the solar filter. It's going to show the first part without it, and then another part with it.
That's you've given me Wolfie 6020's video.
Yeah, I know. It's on Wolfie's page, and I found it hilarious. I found it fucking funny.
Right. Okay. Let me share this with everybody.
Yeah, share it with everyone.
So he has presented us Wolfie 6020's video of the sun without the solar filter. At what point does the solar filter come on? Because I'm not seeing a solar filter in this video.
Yeah, he leaves it off until about what 20 something seconds, 20, 26, 27 seconds, and he takes it off, and then he does another one. Okay, and then he does another fraction even slower. Remember, this is Wolfie's video.
Have you put the link in the Hangouts chat for Sean?
I put it in Discord. Put it
in the Hangouts chat so Sean can see it.
Okay, there you
go.
Okay.
Would you guys like to see Would you guys like to see the satellite balloon?
No, I already saw that on the debate and laughed at it very much. So it's okay. Feel free to post it.
What is it then?
It's not a shadow.
What is it? Tell me.
It's not a shadow being cast on by a satellite balloon because there's no such thing as a satellite balloon.
Yes, there is.
Oh, you're hilarious. Hey,
okay.
So Goddess Engineer, you there?
No. Now you're lying. I want everyone to hear this. He's lying. I have it on video. He just lied right here.
I'm sorry. Right.
First lie of the day.
I'm laughing at you.
Just lied.
I didn't lie. What's happened is you haven't presented anything, and I haven't lied about anything. So,
yes, you did. You just lied. And
what did I lie about? What did I lie about?
You just lied. You lied. You didn't at least give an explanation. Oh, maybe it's clear. Maybe it's this. Maybe it's not something else. But you just tried to laugh it off. And I'm just
link me that video, and I will show everyone how stupid it is. Come on.
Yeah, come on.
I'm actually opening up Paint because I'm going to put these with a solar filter on. Give me a second. I'm doing this. I have to open up Paint first. First frame in.
Oh, hold on. Let me do the red rhetoric one instead. I said, oh wait, I did.
Open up the Paint window. Paste that in.
Yeah.
Didn't copy it.
All right, here.
Okay. I screwed something up.
Start at 33 minutes and 15 seconds, and it should pop up in like 10, 15 seconds after that. Yeah.
Sorry, have you just sent me that link?
Yes. Yeah, I'll do it on Discord too. I'll do it on both.
Yeah, right, okay.
I did it on Hangout first. I'll do it on Discord. Go to 33 minutes, 15 seconds, and then just let it play a little bit. And I showed it.
Bear me 1 sec, I will get that.
If you think that's a joke, explain it. I really want an explanation. Tell me what you think it is.
All right. 33 seconds, did you say, on that video?
Yeah, 33 minutes, 15 seconds.
33 minutes.
Okay,
Yeah, 33
Craig.
minutes.
Yeah.
Okay, Craig.
Yeah, Sean.
I've got two screenshots. I'm showing my entire desktop. I've got two screenshots. One while he had the solar filter on. One when the sun was high in the sky. One right before it sets.
Yeah, and you see it shrink in size slightly. It's not by much.
I'm about to show you something here. You're going to crop out just that little bit. That out. Put that over here. And we'll just drag that over there.
Yeah, it's shrunk in size like a little. Yeah, it's like a small little. It doesn't have to be much. It's just a little bit.
Are you talking? Well, let's look side to side because at the horizon is going to squish at the bottom because of refraction. But side to side, it is still the same size.
You can tell it's slightly smaller. It's obvious. I'm looking at it right now. You can tell it's just a little bit smaller. That's it. It's not much, but it shrunk a little.
Let me stop showing that, and we will go to something else that is really interesting. And
hey, Goddess Engineer, you there yet?
Yeah, I'm here.
Hey, how you doing, bud?
Hey,
yeah, I'm doing all right. How y'all doing?
My brain has an owie. I just wondered if you had any questions for why you're an idiot.
Well, I mean, like with the whole sun and the solar filter and how big it is. I mean, I get that you want to say that it's smaller, but like for a flat Earth or a non-globe Earth, to be honest, I don't know if you're advocating for a flat Earth. I guess you are, but I mean, you understand that it's drastically different, like in size. It's supposed to be like 3 times smaller, and you're pointing out like pixels that could be easily chalked up to like compression schemes or whatever.
Well, yeah, but I can clear that up real quick.
I didn't chop pixels. I just said, did it get smaller? It's that simple.
All right, Sean.
That's it. And it did. It got a little smaller. No big deal.
Sean, what are you going to say?
I don't mind it.
I can clear this whole few pixels thing real quick.
Why you're on it? 1 sec. Let Sean talk.
I can clear this whole few pixels things real quick. This is the video I did back in 2016. This was the sun at noon. This is the sun right before sunset.
Yeah.
Now you're saying there's a difference there, right?
Probably very small. Probably very small.
Well, let's put those images on top of each other and see how small that difference is. You're still seeing this, right?
Yeah, why?
Okay, just making sure. The difference.
Oh my God, it's virtually negligible.
It's not even that. It is zero difference.
Yeah, there's a difference between this one because he showed me the other guy showed me the same thing. There's a difference between this one and the other one. The other
They're
one is
overlaid. I'm fading between the two. There is no
but here's the difference. This one is up close. It's like sticking something to my face and keeping watch on it all the time.
What?
The zoom level never changes.
It's not going to change size. But if I toss it away and I zoom out, it'll change size. Yeah, it's that simple. It's not really that it changes actual size. It's just it gets further away.
Yeah,
and that's why it looks like it changes size.
but that's the thing, right? If the moon and the sun were 40 miles above, as you say,
Yeah.
they wouldn't just change a little bit. They would the difference in angular size would be humongous. It would be a pinprick if it was just 40 miles up and stuff.
I don't know how big the sun and moon are. No one does.
Well, you
I don't
just
know
no.
anyone that does.
Wait. You made the claim that it's 11 to 40 miles up.
Yeah, why? It is.
And if you can say that it's 11 to 40 miles up, then we can figure out the size of it based on its angular size and where it is.
No, you can't. Try and figure it out. Do the math.
Actually,
Do the math. Try and figure it out.
Do you not know how trigonometry works?
I don't do trigonometry with things that are far up in the sky. I don't make assumptions like that.
I'm not making an assumption.
Like
There's no assumptions here. Listen, listen. 1 second. There is no assumption here. You are saying categorically that the sun is between 11 and 40 miles up. Okay?
Yeah.
So that is a claim. And the other thing is that we know the angular size of the sun and the moon and that they don't change throughout the day. So based on those two things, we can actually figure out how big the sun is in real life.
No, you can't.
Yes,
you can make assumptions.
No, maths isn't assumptions. In so much as I don't assume that one
let
is two.
Let me explain. I want you to look after this debate is done. I want you to walk outside, walk 20 feet from a tree, a big tree. Find a big tree, and tell me how tall it is just by looking at it.
Well, I could use the formula for angular size and figure out exactly based on how far away I am.
Okay, just do it just by looking. And then tell me.
I didn't say just by looking.
You can barely measure a tree down here. What makes you think you can measure that up there? No,
I didn't say just by looking.
I'm not going to make that assumption.
Right, I'm not making.
Did you just say you can barely measure a tree down here?
Yeah. You talk to this guy. He's done my nutting.
Godless. Go outside. Look at a tree. No, don't use any measuring tools. Don't use anything. Just by looking at it, tell me how tall that tree is. You won't be able to tell me. You can make guesses. You might even get real close if the tree's really small. But if I was to pick out a big tree for you, you wouldn't know because I have a big tree outside right now. I have no idea
about this conversation right now. I love that he's running a hypothetical experiment and then telling me exactly what I would see, how I would react, my ability to measure a tree from a distance.
Yeah,
it's brilliant.
All of that in his head right now. Like, I don't know, that's astonishing to me.
Yeah, because I tried to do it. I went outside and I'm all like, how the hell do I measure this tree? Just by looking at it.
Now,
just by looking at it.
Here's the thing,
I was like,
right?
Here's so personal incredulity is your defense. That good job. I applaud.
Yeah, well done.
Claps.
Okay, what's the size of the sun and moon? What's the size of the sun and moon?
It's got a particular angular size, which I can't remember off the top of my head. Sean, you probably know that.
The sun is on average 0.53 degrees. The moon varies between 0.48 to 0.52, I believe.
Right. Okay. So yeah, we do know the angular size of the sun and the moon. Those are established facts.
No, you just told me what they are, but until
you
actually go up there,
that's the measured angular size.
Yourself. Until you actually go up there and measure it yourself, you don't know. You're making a guess, an assumption.
To measure the angular size, you don't need to go to something. That's not how it works. You clearly don't know actually what angular size is or how measurements work. And the thing is that we don't just use our eyes to measure things. We have tools for these things. So we also have plenty of things like radar and lasers. And if the moon and sun were 40 miles up, we'd be able to, anyone with a ham radio would be bouncing signals off it all day. Because people with ham radios can actually bounce signals off the moon, even though it's 240,000 miles away. So if the moon was 40 miles away, we would damn well know about it.
Yeah, and I posted it on my video, and you have yet to post it and show the people.
I've shown them.
You showed the solar flare. I didn't mind that. Well, why don't we show my video?
I've shown every video that you've given me.
I didn't see you guys show it.
Yeah, the one at 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Well,
I showed that.
So
I showed that. Everyone saw that.
If I can butt in.
Mm-hmm.
So what I feel like you're saying here is that indirect measurements or measurements that don't include some kind of physical medium, like for instance a measuring tape, any measurements or any calculations you do outside of that is not trustworthy. Is that correct?
Yes. It must be in a physical, meaning I can stand by a tree, cut like where my head is, and then I can climb it up a bit, and then stop where my foot is, where I'll put like something in there, to stand on it, and then I'll cut it again, and I'll just keep going until I get to the top, and I'll have a very good, idea of how big that tree is. But if you're talking about the moon and the sun, no, I'm never going to believe any of you on how big it is. I don't know.
Hold on. So, I guess you would accept the idea that like velocity doesn't really exist, or that we can never know the velocity of any particular object ever.
Of a vehicle, yes. Of a plane, yes. Of the sun and moon?
No. You can't have it both ways. Right now, you're trying to eat your cake and have it too, because you can't say that you have to have some kind of physical measuring thing in order to measure something, but then also accept that velocity and other things that we measure, like acceleration, those other things we use math to derive. You can't do both. Like, you can't have both of them. It's a hypocritical stance.
No. You're in a car. You can touch it. You can feel it. You can step on the gas. You're in a plane. You can do the same thing. So you can have an idea of it because you're touching it. You're not touching the moon. You're not touching the sun. You're not riding it.
I just ran some numbers.
Am I making sense on this?
Yeah, you are.
I just ran some numbers for him because he says that the sun and moon at most are at 40 miles high.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're directly under the sun at noon, in other words, like say you're at the equator at noon, that would make the sun 1,964.93 feet wide. Because it has an angular, because it has.
Sorry, dude, I don't know. I don't believe you, and two, I don't know.
So you're calling him a liar for doing maths?
No, I'm telling
fucking
him
hilarious.
He doesn't know. He's making an assumption based off.
I'm making the assumption based on the numbers you provided. 40-mile high sun. We know that it's about 31 arc minutes across, 0.52 degrees. So at 40 miles, that's 211,200 feet. With the angular size,
from down here, you can't.
Yes, you can. If you're proclaiming 40-mile distance,
I said it 3 times. I don't believe you.
If you're proclaiming a 40-mile distance, stop. You're the one that proclaimed at most it is 40 miles high.
Yeah, but I don't know the size of it.
That's what angular size helps you figure out. If you say that you have a 40-mile distance and we know the angle, we know how big it is.
You can't
you're making assumptions.
No, we're not making assumptions. You're making an assumption saying it's 40 miles high. But we are taking that assumption that you are using and doing the maths.
Based off the physical evidence that it's 40 miles high.
And the
40 miles high.
Okay, now, okay, so your evidence of it being 40 miles high, right? We're saying, okay, now if that's the case, we can look at the sun and see its angular size, because you don't go to things to measure angular size. All right. And now, based on those things, knowing the distance to it, which you have proclaimed to be 40 miles, and the angular size, which anybody can get by looking at the sun and measuring the angular size, we know that it would be the size that Sean, what was it?
1,964.93 feet wide. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Say you're doing this observation at the equator on the equinox. Okay. If I'm going to assume you believe in the disk model of the Earth. Am I?
It's different. I'm a different flat earther. I don't believe it the way they do. So.
Okay, well, say the sun sets when it's 6,000 miles away from you. That's the distance that I used for the sunset. The size of the angular size of the sun, if it is 1,964.93 feet wide, at a 6,000 mile distance, would be 1 arc second.
What does that mean? I don't even know what that means. What do you mean by arc second?
It's about 400 times smaller in apparent size at sunset than it is at noon.
Okay,
by your numbers.
Yeah, but I don't know the size of the sun. I'm not making an assumption.
Neither are we. You made the assumption that the sun is 40
telling
miles
you how far it is, how high up it is.
And we're basing all of this on the number you gave, which was 40 miles, which was your high limit.
Yeah, but I don't believe.
Now this is the basic law of perspective. This is the basic law of perspective. I ran the numbers based on a 40-mile high sun, and we know its angular size is going to be 31 arc minutes. Now, with that angular size, with a 40-mile distance, it is required to be 1,964 feet in diameter.
No, you're making assumptions. Here, let me
The
talk, let
only
me talk to
assumption,
chat
the
real quick.
only assumption I made in this was your 40-mile
making
hike.
Yeah, but you can't tell me how big the sun is
We just did,
or the
based on
moon
your
is.
figures.
You can look. You can. I can look at it far and get the angular size from here. But I'm definitely not going to make an assumption and be like, I know for a fact it's this height. You're insane. You're insane.
This is
I would
basic.
never do that.
This
This
is
is the
basic
basic
maths.
perspective.
I don't. I want you to understand something, guys. I don't really believe in math too much. Let's just say that.
Right, so you don't
Math is
believe that
limited.
one add one is 2.
What?
Do you believe that one add one is 2?
I don't know. I gotta question it. Maybe it's 3. You never know. Yes,
Right,
1 on 1 or 2.
And now I'm going to call you a Poe.
Yep, I think that is where we're going to have to call this, guys, because why you are an
1 and 1
idiot
is 2.
has...
I get it. 1 and 1 is 2. Okay, I'm joking.
Right.
But I'm just gonna be real. If
Yeah.
you guys think you can measure how far or how big or anything like that the sun is, you better have something physical up there to find out. I got lucky.
But here we go.
I got
What's your
lucky
physical
finding this
evidence?
out.
What is your physical evidence? It's 40 miles high, which is what I based all of this math on.
Yeah. Yeah. The only reason
Your
I
answer
believe
to my
it's
question
that
is
height
what of your evidence is
because-
yeah?
Yeah, I know, right?
No, the only reason I believe it's that height is because I have something physical standing right next to it, casting a shadow. And based off that number, I can do a limit to how big this
What's
is.
standing next to the
Estimated.
sun?
Right,
What?
first off...
What is standing right next to the sun?
No, to the moon, my bad. To the
Right.
moon.
Yeah. First off, you need to actually research what a 3-cell balloon train is, and then you won't sound quite as idiotic as you are right now.
You can say whatever you want. It's on video.
Yeah, I did
I
just
have
say whatever I
proof of
wanted.
it.
Everyone in the chat, just research what a 3-cell balloon train is. Thank you, Bob.
Yeah,
the
go
Science
for
Guy.
it.
GE, do you have any more questions for this person?
Well, I do want to put this in perspective. Okay,
Mhm.
so we're seriously trying to argue with a person that prior to me coming on,
I'm a very physical evidence guy.
invoked Ragnarok, and then showed some images of pretty rocks as if to say these rocks were once alive. And I mean, it's just it astounds me.
What are you going to do with the heart inside of them? What are you going to do with the intestines inside of them? What are you going to do with the blood inside of them? Answer the question.
What are you talking about?
It
What do
means
you
they
want
were
me to do?
alive.
You want me to
It's that
fuck
simple.
you
It
or
means they
something?
were alive.
What? My name's Cole. I'm made of rock.
So
It means they were alive.
I
You
think
didn't show,
I'm
you
using
didn't show
common sense.
intestines, you didn't show a heart. You showed pretty rocks. That's all that you
No.
showed.
No.
No,
You
yes,
guys
you
can go
did.
watch
That's
it.
all you showed. You did not
No.
show a heart. You
I-
did not
Yes, I
show
did.
intestines.
I
Yes,
think
I did.
I think we
post it up all the time. You guys can say whatever you want.
we need
but
to
I
do the
post
Riley
it up.
test here. W, can you just tell me if you've got a triangle of sides 1, 1, and 1? What are the internal angles?
I don't know.
That is the perfect answer from him.
Right, guys. I'm going to read some super chats, and then I think we will close this down.
Well, I still want to try to clarify one thing for him that
go
he
ahead,
has
Sean,
a very
go ahead.
huge misconception about. At the very beginning, you brought up the 3 laws of gravity.
Yes.
Let me educate you on what the difference between a law and a theory is. A law is a mathematical representation of what we can predict will happen if something happens. A theory is why our best guess is that thing is happening. Laws and theories are not interchangeable. They are
Yes, they
two
are.
totally different
Laws
things.
change all the time. Our court system laws
Did
change
you
all the
listen
time.
to the thing I said?
No, he just completely ignored you, Sean.
I said laws and theories are not interchangeable. I didn't say laws were changeable.
Yes, the law is changeable because they changed the law 3 times.
No, they changed the theory.
No,
The law
they
has
changed
always
the law
remained
3
the same.
times.
The law has always remained the same. The law isn't why something's happening. The law is explaining what is happening. The theory is why they think something is happening.
Okay,
That
so,
part
but
changes all the time. Laws very rarely ever get changed.
Okay, let's make this simple. Core inside of the Earth, it's pulling everything. Now mass attracts mass. Instead
Well-
of pulling everything down, it can pull left, right, up, down, etc. So
What?
it does change. The laws do change because people
Well,
want to make up shit. That's just
Again,
the reality.
a law is not why something's happening. A law is a mathematical description of what will happen. That's it. It gives no explanation as to why something's happening. A theory is the explanation.
So wait a second. Did you guys ask him like what the law of gravity is?
He provided 3 laws of gravity.
Well, okay, I get that he provided that, but I'm wondering if he knows what the actual law of gravity is.
No, he doesn't. He said something kind of almost right about mass being attracted towards mass, but couldn't express it mathematically or explain how it.
I don't express things mathematically because I don't really believe in math too much. Maybe the simple stuff,
clear.
but the more complicated it gets, the more.
Okay. Let me ask you something real quick. Do you weigh yourself on a scale?
Do I weigh? Of course, I weighed myself on a scale.
Do you trust the number that it says on that scale?
It's a little off, but for the most part, yeah, it's like 98% correct usually.
Okay, whatever that means. Do you know how like that is calculated?
No, I don't.
Okay.
I know I get on it. I know it checks my weight, but how the machine actually works, I don't know.
Do you know?
You're all religious anyway.
You want to know something cool? If you weigh yourself at sea level and use a hypersensitive scale, and then go up in elevation like pretty high, you will actually notice a difference in your weight. You know why?
Why?
Because of gravity. And there's one law of gravity, and it's a mathematical expression that you can use to explain why that happens.
No, gravity's a theory.
No.
No. Gravity's a law, and there's a theory of.
Look, here's the fact of the matter.
God.
You guys are very religious.
Oh, please tell me what's the fact.
Oh God.
Huh?
Tell me what the fact of the matter is.
The fact of the matter is that we're religious. You, an ex-Christian called Godless Engineer, and me, a proclaimed atheist, fight the flat Earth, are both extremely religious. Godless Engineer.
I can point this out more brilliantly. He claims that we're religious because we're actually going by factual things that can be measured, and he's providing Ragnarok.
Yeah.
No.
Don't forget the magic tree that apparently when it disappears causes a gradient.
Thor Ragnarok, or is this like a different kind of Ragnarok?
Well, he is bringing up Yggdrasil, so he's definitely going into Norse mythology.
But yeah, look. I can prove you guys are religious very easily. Very easily.
No.
Let's not get into this.
Huh?
Anyway,
you can. I'm gonna read some super chats now.
Well, I had to point out one more thing because.
Oh, sorry
like
about that, Sean.
Like I said, I made notes. Now he brought up the whole Keshe Foundation as one of his sources. These are the people that make plasma liquid hand soap and sell it. Now, Gallus Engineer, what's the issue with plasma liquid hand soap?
I'm actually not all that keen on that particular thing.
What are the 4 states of matter?
Oh, well, I mean, there's solid, liquid, gas, and then plasma when it gets like extremely hot and shit. Like that's what the sun's made out of.
Yeah. Now, let me say this again. Let me say this again. Plasma liquid hand soap.
Holy shit!
What's the issue?
Okay, yeah, no, I get it now.
Shit.
Like when you said plasma liquid, I was thinking like the blood kind of plasma. I was like thinking it was some kind of human sacrifice thing. So plasma liquid. I mean, that's mixing up states. I mean, that's like saying a single married guy or was a married bachelor.
And keep in mind, this is his scientific source for saying the core is attracting everything and causing gravity. Just thought I would point that out.
That part cracked me up. I mean, you realize that the core generates our magnetic field. It doesn't create.
Hold on.
I've got one question.
Let me get back to what I was saying.
We're kind of shutting things down now. It's got a couple of questions actually from super chats.
He said he could prove what the sun is made of.
One particular, the sun's made of plasma.
No, you don't.
One particular thing. Super chat's just come in. It wants me to ask you this question. If you have 2 ice creams and then I take away 3, how many do you have? Silence. That's a perfect answer.
What the fuck?
That's from my Sleeping Warrior debate where he tried to prove math isn't real by saying that you couldn't have negative numbers. Here's another one for you. W is 10 times is something times 10 to the negative 17. It's 10 times to the negative 17. Is that a negative number or a positive number?
I don't do math. I only do physical evidence. I only do physical evidence.
Oh my god!
All right. Anyway,
I'm digging deeper into the site.
Math doesn't mean much to me.
Super chat.
It doesn't mean much to me. It's all about physical evidence. You bring me physical evidence, I'll look at it, study it, analyze it, and then I'll see if it's true or not.
I doubt your abilities to analyze, but anyway, $2.29 from RapidX. Oops, too early for a super chat. Never too early. Thanks very much, mate. $5 from Paul Reap, no message. Another $2.29 from RapidX. He's going to wimp out. No, he did turn up. I actually got time zones wrong. Sean explained that to me. I forgot about the fact that we changed our clocks in the UK as well. Stupid globe. €1 from MS Digest. I can't pronounce that. I'm sorry, but you didn't leave a message. Another $5 from Paul Reap, no message. $2.29 from RapidX. He starts off great. Yeah, he brought up Ragnarok. That was fantastic. $2 from Wanton Toad. Derive F equals X equals X to the squared minus 4 to the power 2 minus 4. I don't think he can't do math, so he's not going to be able to do that in the slightest.
Yeah, I'm not a math guy.
Yeah, we figured that out. General E Shady, 11 to 40 miles. Just shoot him. Face desk. I'm sorry, but he's not. I can't shoot him. I'll leave that to other people. Ranger Man 9404, $666. Thank you. In order to see his source for the core causing gravity, he would have to moon you since it comes out of his ass. Yeah, very good.
Look, not a single one of you can prove the core, so good luck. Good luck. Not a single one of you can prove the core.
Apart from seismology. RapidX number 229.
Bring me a picture. Bring me a picture.
General E Shady, face desk, ding, $2. Yep, thank you. $2 from Space, is he an Asteru? I don't know. I'm not sure if he's human. $10 from Paul Reap. To feed the sheep, you, Scott, have to get the generator running. You have this FTFE, singing while typing. Whoa. $1.99 from Schrodinger's cat. Ding, just ding. Yeah, definitely. $5 from a little fat girl. The only real giant that ever existed was Andre the Giant. Oh, we actually sat down with my son the other day and watched The Princess Bride. How good is that movie? Rapid X, number 229, still in Shawnia Hufford. I need to get out more. $1.99 from Zach Hopper. What a lovely set of non-answers. $2 Australian dollars from General Shady. Can everyone give a ding? I reckon everyone was dinging. Yeah, don't worry. £5 from the Casual Spaceman. As deluded as Mr. West has been, credit where credit is due. Mr. W has been respectful and did listen. Well done for that. Yeah, I guess we didn't shout over each other. It was better than yesterday. Thanks for that, W.
No problem, man.
$5 from John Rapp. Please ask him to count to 10. I think it will have gaps and disconnects and even that knowledge. He's not a math guy, so we won't go there. Robert Williams, $1.99. Acceleration is dv over dt. Ask how he measures it. He wouldn't know what dv over dt meant, so we won't go there. $1 from the Butcher, thank you. $2 from the Butcher. How does he know he's 40 miles high? Because he saw a shadow. Paul Reap, $5. My God, better off talking to a wall. Yeah. With Tim Fire, we asked that one about the ice creams. Let's just see, there's a few more come in. $2 from Rivette. Did Telperion and Lorien help Idrisel? Yeah, that's obviously something about the magic tree. $5 Canadian from Christ Puncher. You might not be Fight the Flat Earth, but I am. I just can't decide who I like more, God 1 or God 2. I think I missed the context for that, but thank you. $5 from Gary Little. Fight the Flat Earth really needs to change his name to Why I Am an Idiot. Yeah, look at the title of the stream. $2 Canadian from Brainy Beaver. Say smelly wet beaver like you mean it. Smelly wet beaver. Ugh. Mr. Unite for the Children, $2. Ragnarok. Isn't that a Spinal Tap concept album? Possibly. Also my favorite Marvel movie. Any more come in? Let me just double check.
Yeah,
I think that was the last one, Ragnarok from Spinal Tap. Yeah, so that's everything for tonight, guys. Thank you very much for coming along. Sean, thank you for agreeing to moderate. Are you free on Saturday to moderate my debate on non-sec?
I could if you want me to be.
Cool. All right. I'm debating Hip Hop Hippie, who is in the chat right now. And you've seen how Sean does moderating, so that will be absolutely fine.
I'll be there too.
Yeah, G, I was going to say, G, do you want to say anything before we shut down?
I've got a couple Flat Earth videos coming out this week, so y'all just stay tuned for that. And yeah, the Earth is a globe.
Yeah, definitely is. While you're an idiot, do you have any final words?
Yeah, why? It's fine. No, it's really easy to prove the flat Earth. It's not hard. Everything, one is besides the fact that everything I show is physical. Whether you believe what I'm saying is true or not, that's up to you. But it's physical, and you can see it for yourself. And as for you, Godless, I dare you to bring me a piece of the sun. Bring me a piece of it so I can study it. Go up there, find it, please, please. I want to. I want to see this.
I'm gonna call the
Because you
double
said you
standard
know
there.
what the sun is made of.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
Bring me a piece of God.
Yeah, I'm tempted to call the double standard there, but I'm not going to.
Yeah. Anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching. I enjoyed this a lot more than the one yesterday. I don't ever want to talk to that right the hand again. But if you guys go and search the term on YouTube, internet troll gets beaten by MMA girl, then you will find right the hand being beaten up by a girl. It's fantastic. Because basically he posted something on the MMA page saying that it's stupid to let women learn self-defense because 99% of men could beat out 99% of women no matter what. So then this MMA woman beat him up twice and it was hilarious. But anyway, that's all for tonight, guys. Remember, stupidity is not a right. Fight the flat earth. Fight the flat. Fight the flat.